acupuncture, there are a lot of misinformation about it, and even the doctors in this country are now pursuing it. I suppose the reason the people think it is good is because I suppose people who are looking for cures and don't seem to find it will go almost to anything, and yet it's still pretty well unknown, isn't it? It's exactly why it works, if it does in fact work.
Yeah, I just got a book on it myself because I've been interested in the subject. I mean, I think it really should be investigated.
Right.
A man like James Reston is impressed by it. He's a knowledgeable fellow, and there's got to be something to it. I don't know exactly what it is. And you're right, I mean, people who aren't cured, you know, if I had an illness and I went to a doctor, an MD, and he couldn't do anything for me, I'd probably get desperate and I'd go somewhere else. And that's why I like to see acupuncture in the hands of people who are good, scientific, sound, legitimate investigators.
I suppose the big danger could be, as they pointed out, is that almost anybody can open a clinic and say acupuncture, and this is where disaster could set in.
Yeah, you get some of the lunatic fringe of medicine fooling around with it. You know, here's a big gimmick, and people are hot to use it, and you can sell them on this thing. No, I'm not knocking it. I just don't understand it, and I've got an open mind in the thing. Practically an empty mind.
How do doctors generally, well, I know how they feel about being sued for malpractice, but there have been instances where doctors have been reluctant and sometimes have not stopped to assist somebody because they didn't want something to happen, like, and then the patient would later on sue him for malpractice. That puts you in a rather
I've
hairy
heard
position
about that. I've stopped at accidents myself, and I think that that's more theoretical than real. I mean, it's the argument that doctors use for not getting up in a theater when somebody says we need a doctor, that sort of thing. But there's never, of course I'm probably wrong on this, but I don't think that there's ever been a case where a doctor has been sued successfully for offering emergency care. But malpractice premiums are out of sight. I got a call from a neurosurgeon in New York the other day. He's paying $8,000 a year in premiums, and in California, things are even worse.
just to protect himself
Just
from
to
the
protect
possibility.
himself. Yeah, of course, he'd gotten into a little problem. He left a little pledget of cotton in a fellow by mistake, and well, I mean, it's sad, but the fellow got better. In fact, I have a story in there.
One should not leave equipment in the patient, should they?
Well, I left a clamp in a fellow once.
You left a clamp in a fellow once?
And it sat there. It was one of the first cases I did when I went into practice, and, you know, clamps about this big, and the fellow did beautifully. We fixed up this huge hernia that he had, and about 7 years later, he came in, he had some sort of a bowel problem, and we got x-rays. The fellow who referred him to me did. And there on the x-ray was this huge clamp sitting in his pelvis. And, well, really, I'm not saying this because I'm proud of it. I'm saying it because it happens.
I thank you very much, Dr. Nolan, for being with us tonight. The book is called The Surgeon World, and it's fascinating, as was your first book. Thank you, Joe, very much for being here. And Carol, thank you.